retreat. It's been on my bucket list for so long, but this island is just so freaking suited to doing a retreat. It's not funny. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to get stuck into this podcast episode on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome back to the Better Body Academy podcast. This is the podcast that you come to if you are sick of the dumb diets and unsustainable workout programs. Now, we are nearing 400 episodes of the podcast. I just want to start by thanking everyone that supports and shares the podcast. In today's episode, we're going to keep it pretty short, I think, but I wanted to talk about the 5 best things about getting older as far as your fitness journey is concerned. Because here's the thing, if you scroll through Instagram or TikTok or Facebook and you look at a whole bunch of fitness content, what you tend to see is a bunch of 20-year-old guys and girls with incredible bodies, often artificially enhanced, and it's not really relatable, right? To you, the mum or dad that's listening to this podcast, that's busy as fuck, doesn't necessarily care to have an all-round six-pack. Your goals are completely different. I want to talk to you. If you're the type of person that just wants a six-pack and that's the only goal you'll have, I'm definitely not the coach for you. I want to talk to the person that has struggled with weight since they've had kids. I want to talk to the person that has felt like because of their career and prioritizing trying to make money for their family and build a future, that their own health has dropped off the radar. Most of the fitness industry caters not for you, and you keep looking at your feed, getting older, and wondering why you feel a little bit out of aligned. Does that make sense? So in today's episode, I'm going to keep it really short. We're going to go through 5 reasons why being over 35, 40, 50, 60, or beyond is actually giving you a unique edge in your fitness journey. If you've ever looked in the mirror and you've ever thought to yourself, oh, you know what, I've kind of missed the boat here, this episode is just going to be a reminder that you haven't missed the fucking boat in any way. Let's get started. Reason number one is that you've got better priorities than when you did when you were 20. Better and different. You've got less time for bullshit. Is that true or true? When you're younger, it's easy to chase the shiny objects, right? It's easy to chase the new workouts and the fad diets. How many of you are just absolute sticklers for 30-day challenges, quick fixes? But now, at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and beyond, you want results. You don't want fluff. You want simplification, not all these crazy detailed systems that just really are unnecessary. You've got family, you've got work, you've got commitments, and you don't have time to waste on detail that's not necessary. This makes you more coachable. This is a really, really good thing. We can focus on 2 or 3 things, the 2 or 3 things that move the needle. And if we get those 2 or 3 things right, well, guess what? Change happens fairly quickly, especially in the mind. The quote that I like to use is, the older you get, the more allergic you become to bullshit. The great thing about that is it becomes a superpower. If you look at your Instagram feed and you realize that 90% of it is just not fucking relevant to you, maybe it was 20 years ago, it's just not relevant to you now. You've now got a filter that you can look through and narrow your focus. That's a superpower. Getting to the body that you want to get to the level of strength and mobility that you want to get to, that often involves doing less, not more. That's point number one. Point number two is that as you've gotten older, you've accumulated more failures, right? In fact, if you're like me, you're a fucking walking failure. And that's a very, very good thing because you've failed enough to know what doesn't work. Sometimes you still have these lapses where you think to yourself, oh, I'll go back and do that thing that I just know is not going to work, but I'll do it anyway. You still have these brain farts. But you've tried all the crash diets, the all or nothing gym routines, the go hard or go home mindset that leads to you burning out. You've tried those things. Now, if you don't lose your awareness permanently, you're smarter. You should be more patient. You're ready to play the longer game here. And that self-awareness gives you a massive advantage over the person that's trying to chase six-pack abs in 6 weeks. They are chasing abs. You are chasing a lifestyle that you can do for the rest of your life. If you break the word lifestyle down, it is how you style your life. You're trying to style your life in a way that you can do it for the next 50 to 60 years. This is a superpower. And I often reflect, why is it that I just love working with guys and girls over the age of 40? I'll tell you why. Because they are such failures, just like me. They're at the point where they're saying, fuck this. I just want to be told what to do. I'm going to park my ego and I'm willing to listen. The people that do that get incredible results because they don't complicate it. They want simplicity. They want to be told what to do so they can stop failing and start making progress. Number 3, you know that it's about discipline and consistency, not trying to get motivated every day. And I think that comes off the back of having failed so many times and trying to start every day super motivated and yelling at yourself in the mirror when you were 20, the go hard or go home mindset. It doesn't work. It's not sustainable. In your 20s, you relied on hype. You relied on pre-workout powder. You did these long sessions. You show up when you feel like it or not. That maturity that you have now to be able to do the work even if you don't feel like it, the maturity that you have to be able to feel crap but go to the gym anyway and still show up, that's what gets you long-term results. You're not sitting there with your own lack of self-belief and thinking to yourself, oh, I've got to get motivated before I start. Because you've done hard things in your life. You've maybe raised or are raising some kids. You've maybe been through 10 to 20 jobs in your life. And you recognize that it's not about being motivated. It's not about doing the sexy things that you see on fucking TikTok and Instagram from 20-year-old people holding themselves from fucking bars and contorting themselves and saying that's how I got fit. That's not how they got fit. They got fit doing simple shit, and that shit applies even more when you're older. Does this make sense? Motivation is always going to disappear. It's never going to be a permanent thing. It's going to come and go. But you know that discipline is something that's going to give you consistency over the long term. And if you're willing to stay in the game, you're good. You'll see long-term results. Number 4, you've got a stronger why. I want you to think about right now, if you're listening to this podcast live or on replay, I want you to think about what is your actual why? Why are you doing this fitness journey? Why are you listening to this podcast? Why do you care at all? Now, if you're in Better Body Academy, you've gone through our process where we ask you to dig deep. Your goals are deeper now than they used to be. It's not just about abs. My bet is that in terms of physical changes that you want to see, it's about energy. Like, this is the most sought after physicality that typically people over 40 want. They just feel exhausted and fucking drained all the time. And they know that that's what happens when you're carrying around an extra 20 kilos. Anyone that's carried around a 10-year-old knows that, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of weight to carry. But if we're carrying it on our body all day, every day, for 24 hours, it's even harder. So for you, it's about energy. It's about confidence and how you show up in the workplace. It's about longevity, right? And it's about quality of life, not just longevity, but it's about, okay, as I'm getting older, I don't just want to survive. I want to be functional. I want to be able to pick up my grandkids when that happens. I want to be a mobile person at 50, 60, 70 and beyond, so I can actually enjoy the life that I've been working my entire life to create. That emotion, that anchor that you have, is very different to when you're younger and you're doing things for mostly superficial reasons. Maybe it's so that you can get more sex or be validated by your peers. Plus, you may be a little bit more financially stable, which can really, really, really help. And this helps with changing it from, again, last point, guys want a result as quickly as possible when they're younger. By the time they're our age, and I'm 42, we want a lifestyle. We want to find a system that we can do for the rest of our life. I've got a nice little phrase for you. When your why is deep, your excuses get shallow. Like, repeat that with me. When your why is deep, your excuses are shallow. Now, if you feel like listening to that, you still have so many excuses, I want to ask you then, is it perhaps because you haven't really meshed out what your real why is? If you're just getting up in the morning and just hoping to get fit, why? Because I want to. Why? I don't know, I just want to. Why? Because I feel like shit. That's not a deep why. If I go really deep into my why do I get up and run a podcast at what is 6:30 in the morning right now, or a coaching call at 4 a.m. in the morning? Why am I getting up and going to the gym at 3 a.m. in the morning? Because I realize my own mortality. I'm willing to die before I die because I don't want to pretend. And this has given me the ability to live life fucking now and enjoy it and experience it. And I know that if I do not have my health and fitness, my mental health goes to shit and I just won't be able to enjoy the life that I'm creating. That is my why. So it's very clear. It's very easy to create leverage when you're clear in why you're doing it in the first place. The final point is that we value health over hype. You care about sleep. You care about stress. You care about strength. You care about actually feeling good. The amount of people that I've spoken to in the last couple of days on our coaching calls that have given up alcohol and crazy, like guys like Tim Kelly, just 9 weeks in to giving up alcohol. Why did you give it up? I want to feel good. Whereas when you're younger, it's typically just the mirror. I just want to look good in the mirror. You want to feel good. There's nothing fucking worse than being hungover and having kids and not only being fucking buried in there like, dad, I want to do something. I want to get out of bed. And you're just feeling shit. But then feeling the guilt of being hungover and tired. Do you guys feel that? When you're exhausted and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm letting them down. And that guilt for me is like overwhelming. So if you value health over hype, this mindset should lead to you making better decisions. It means that you don't need to train 7 days a week. It means that you do not need to eat 1,000 calories to lose weight. It means that you value the quality of your sessions over training infinite amount of days. It means that you value fueling your body. It means that you value not just losing weight, but losing fat and retaining muscle so that you're strong. It means that you're more in touch with, okay, if I'm feeling sore, it's okay for me to take a day off and recover, knowing that I'll be back in there the next day. Getting older means that you stop chasing sexy as the main metric and you start chasing a sustainability. And this is why you get results. Guys, when I scroll through my Instagram feed, I just see a perception that I don't think is a very good and accurate reflection to how most of us 40-plus-year-olds are living. I don't know about many of you girls, but you're probably not working out in a fucking bikini, right? I don't know about most of you guys, but you're probably not deadlifting 400 kilos. Yet if you pay attention to your Instagram feed, the perception is that, oh, that's what everyone's doing. And it's not. We know inside of our coaching program, inside of our community, that one of the greatest things is to be surrounded by other people, real people, that are actually working on themselves with a level of maturity. One of the challenges for most of us is to stop ourselves from flopping into a lack of awareness where we go back to acting like a 20-year-old. I'm not criticizing 20-year-olds, but this is what some of you guys are doing. You flip back into superficial whys. You compare against a 20-year-old and think to yourself like, why don't I have my pre-baby body anymore? Shit has changed and you need a new maturity. And if you realize that your aging is your superpower, I mean, for me, it's fucking great to know that I am not doing stupid movements that I did when I was 20 years old, or trying to train twice a day, or having a constant discussion with myself about should I or should I not take steroids. I'm mature enough to know what is right for me and what doesn't work. And it's more about saying no to these things, blocking out the distractions, and doing less, but staying focused. Inside Better Body Academy, what I would encourage that to be for you is, don't worry about all these fancy fucking challenges and diets that you see on this. Look, it's very simple. We get your calories right. We get your protein intake up. We get you doing resistance training in a smart way. We get you walking a little bit more. That's really all you need to do. Yet if you're scrolling Instagram or YouTube and you're seeing these conflicting ideas, you're getting extremely confused. That's for the 20-year-olds. The real talk is in here. And so if you like more of these podcasts, you always have the option to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google. This has been the Better Body Academy podcast. I hope this has been a good reminder to us middle-aged folk about what we should be focusing on. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, likely from Australia. Appreciate you, team. All right. Hopefully, guys, to those of you that are still with us, this was a great reminder. Nikki says, I'm fitter than I have been in 52 years. My flexibility is 100% better. Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about. This is what it's about, guys. It's not about it's very distracting to see all the stuff happening on the surrounds and not get swept up in that. If you can remember, what's my goal? What am I trying to achieve? Why am I trying to achieve it? And what's the plan for me getting there? That's the 3 levels. What is my goal? Why am I trying to achieve this? And what's the plan for getting there? If you can iron those 3 things out, your chances of getting to this destination that you want are going to tenfold. And then one thing that we probably is worth remembering is if you're pinning all of your happiness on some future destination, when I get to a certain goal weight, or when I get to a certain number of money in my bank account, I can tell you guys, as someone that's made a decent amount of money and got a decently healthy and fit body, that's not what is making me happy. Like, the real talk here is that that's not what's making me happy. Me personally, I am happiest when I feel like I'm growing and moving forward. I'm happiest when I'm feeling strong. These are things that you can't really measure just on a set of scales. And having a mature conversation like this, I think, is really fucking important. Might leave it there, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful start to the day, morning, evening, or afternoon. Peace out, team. I'll see you guys soon.